You may have heard of terms like millennials and baby boomers and probably have some idea of what they mean. But if you don't, here's an explanation of the Strauss-Howe generational theory and why generations are so different from each other. In this theory, these generations don't refer to reproductive cycles, but are cohorts representing 15-year cycles involving cultural aspects and important events happening as people were growing up, and how they may see the world. Be it based on politics, technology, or economics, it could even do with Geschlechtsverkehr, and whether or not they had a part in shaping their worlds. However, this definition mainly applies to North America and Western Europe, so if any of my Eastern European or Asian or African audiences feel a little bit different from this, that's why. The first generation described in recent American history is the Lost Generation, born in the 1890s, who came of age during World War I, some probably having fought in it. They also had a heavy presence in World War II, with notable members including Dwight Eisenhower, Harry S. Truman, Benito Mussolini, Nikita Khrushchev, and Mao Zedong. Members of this generation came of age during World War I and the Roaring Twenties, and faced events like the beginning of flight, European colonialism at its height, at least urban advance, and the Great Depression. The next generation is the GI generation, said to have been born between 1901 and 1927, the first generation born entirely in the 20th century. Their formative years included the Great Depression and World War II, which many also went to fight in. They are often called the Greatest Generation for the presence of World War II and the post-war economic rise, and are also said to have shaped modern America through their hard work, and have more veterans than any other generation. Currently, however, they are all above the age of 90, meaning there are only 4 million left in America. After the GI generation is the Silent Generation, born from the mid-20s to the mid-40s, and grew up in a post-World War II world, during the beginning of the Cold War. They were given this title since they didn't focus as much on activism as other generations, and often preferred to work within the system instead of transforming it. Many attribute this to the presence of things like McCarthyism, which Cheddit has a good video explaining. Go check it out, it's really a total war crime against the First Amendment. And also how there has never been a US president from this generation. Following the Silent Generation are the Baby Boomers, born from the mid-40s to the early mid-60s, and known for their presence during the Civil Rights Movement. Also, there were a lot of births around this time. This generation is said to have been the first to have truly grown up with TV, so think of all those iconic shows in the 60s like Gilligan's Island, The Twilight Zone, Star Trek, The Ed Sullivan Show, etc. They are also said to have developed a yuppie-type style attitude to business.
Oh, and by the way, this was a pretty trending topic back then.
After them are Generation X, born between the 60s and the 80s, and often dubbed the MTV generation, back when it was music television, not moronic television, and are often seen as cynical or slackers, and are frequently viewed as a not very unique buffer between the baby boomers and the millennials. At least this is how they're viewed by the other generations. They grew up during everything that happened during the 80s and 90s, like the end of the Cold War, followed the Berlin Wall, the AIDS epidemic, and the Reagan and Clinton administrations. The penultimate generation are known as the Millennials, born during the 80s and 90s, and grew up during the events of the 2000s, like the new millennium, hence the name, 9/11, the War on Terror, the Great Recession, and the 2008 election. And many are known for not taking part in things like religion and political parties. They are currently young adults, many in new 21st century industries.
Whoa, did you not read the title?
And are widely known for being complained about for ruining everything, or being this kind of weird, enigmatic alien species. Mainly by the baby boomers. And if any of them were around before the rise of the internet or during the Cold War, they probably don't remember much of it. Finally, we have the generation I'm a part of, Generation Z, also known as iGen or the Founders. Generation Z was born from the late 90s to around 2010. Full disclosure, I was born in 2000. And are the first generation to not know life during the Cold War or without the internet, and grew up in this decade often taking for granted our black president and government support of LGBT+ rights. Though most of us are older than sites like Facebook and YouTube, most of us are still younger than Google and don't really know life without these websites. Or at least without hearing of these websites. We are mostly in our teens and early 20s, and are known to older generations as the digital native generation, known for always being on our cell phones and for always being able to find an internet connection no matter the circumstances, and often helping them out with computer stuff. There's one more generation that isn't always included though, and that's Generation Alpha. Generation Alpha is still forming, being born between the early 2010s and mid to late 2020s. So if you're watching this 2017 or 2018, and you see a little baby on the street, they are probably in Generation Alpha. Their formative events, whatever they'll be, will happen during the 2020s and 2030s, and they will be the first generation born entirely in the 21st century. They will grow up to see the rise of many things currently in the works, or that may still be theories. So basically, that was a short explanation of each of the generations and how it all works. Now, these are all generalizations, of course, and many may not identify fully with their counterparts, which is why this system was actually devised as a way of telling how everyone was brought up, and likely how they may see the world and all its events, and explains why generations can feel so different from each other. The baby boomers saw the Apollo missions. Generation Alpha may grow up to see the very beginning of commercial space travel, and that'll have a pretty big impact on how both the generations see spaceflight, for example. One will see it as happening only in absolutely monumental events, and the other will see it as something almost regular.
Of course, you could also just ask someone how they think about Berlin.
Thanks for watching, and I hope you learned something interesting about the Strauss-Howe generational theory. If you enjoyed this video, please go to like, share it, and subscribe to learn something new every Sunday. Even though the next video is probably coming out on Thursday, but still. Yeah, still, get ready for that though.